Hello everyone, so this is my 2015 Kia Optima EX right here, and this is going to be a tour of my 2015 Kia Optima EX. So let's get started here. So walking around the vehicle here, you know, has a black exterior and then a black and beige interior with some wood accents. This car has fog lights on the front of it, as well as power folding mirrors and turn signal repeaters. It is a pretty good looking car. This particular car has a lot of scratches on it. This car also has over 132,000 miles on it. But there's not a lot of dents though on this car. A lot of scratches, but not a lot of dents. But just the overall design of this model in general, it's a good looking car. Yeah, I like the front end with this grille and the headlights, as well as this chrome accent right here that starts from the back, goes all the way to the front, and these chrome door handles. And the back also looks pretty good too, and I've heard from some angles it looks a bit like a Jaguar or an Audi. So we're going to go in it and start it up now. So this is what the key looks like. And this car was bought used for $8,518 US. We bought it used on May 10th, 2025, and today's June 30th, 2025 when I'm filming this video. This is what the key fob looks like here. It's pretty scratched up, but the buttons are all still legible. And there's also a key, like emergency key inside of this key fob as well. So if you purchase a vehicle with the key fob, the mirrors on both sides open up like that. So if I step away, they close up. But as you get closer with the key fob, the mirrors detect the fob and they open up. So basically how you open it is that there's a button on each side. So for the button on the driver's side, as well as the unlock button on the key fob, you can press it once, but it'll only unlock the driver's door. But if you press it twice within 4 seconds, it will unlock all the doors and the trunk. However, if you press the button on the passenger side, you can just press it once and it'll unlock everything. So there's also a little red light that blinks on this key fob as well when you press it, but so we're gonna get in the car now. Key fob in the cup holder, and basically, you know, if you don't put your foot on the brake and you press the button, the car will start binging. And this car has a power seat, and the power seat will move up. And there will be a little bit, and there will be some power given, like for the clock and for my GPS I have hooked up, as well as the engine stop button is lit up orange. And then you press it again, does a gauge sweep, and it goes into accessory mode, and you have full power features, except of course, you know, for the engine you're in accessory mode now. So of course, you know, the engine's not on, but you have full power features for everything else. And then of course, to start the engine, put your foot on the brake, and you press the button once more. And of course, that will also give you your power steering as well. Close the door here. So, starting off here, of course I have my Garmin Drive 53 GPS hooked up here. Of course, obviously this is aftermarket, and it is plugged into the 12-volt outlet right there. Because this car does not have navigation on it. This is an EX trim level, this car. This car has a lot of nice features on it. Like, you know, this car has leather, it has heated and ventilated front seats, as well as a heated steering wheel. Of course, over here you have your gauge dimmer, of course the heated steering wheel, traction control button, which is accidentally what I hit before, and then just a dead switch right there. And over here, the door handle, this car also has memory seats, so you have 2-position memory. And since this car also does have power folding mirrors like I talked about before, the power folding mirror button is right here, so you press that button and the mirrors fold up, and you press it again, the mirrors unfold. Of course, you have, you know, this is to adjust your power mirrors. I have it on the right side right now, so of course, you adjust the mirror, up, down. Of course, you change that over, go over to this mirror. Of course, over here you have your locks, your lock button. Over here, you also have to disable the windows in the back, your child window lock button there. So the front 2 windows on this car are automatic windows. Of course, all these windows are power windows, obviously. But yeah, the front 2 are automatic. Of course, you have to hit in a certain way for it to be automatic, but they are automatic though. Of course, right here you have your sun visor, of course, with your mirror and your little light. Right here, this mirror is auto dimming, and that's what this little button right here means, an auto dimming mirror. So of course, right here you have your 3 gauges. So there's your tachometer right there, if my phone wants to focus. There's your tachometer right there. And you see that little eco light there on the dashboard, or on the right underneath the tachometer, or around the tachometer, you see the little eco light, and that is a button right here. So I mean, this car basically doesn't really have any drive modes, or technically the only one it has is eco. So, you know, you press eco, of course that's the button right here. It's either eco on or no eco. So usually leave eco on, and you know, helps the car drive more efficiently, be more economical. So of course, right here you have your speedometer, and you know, this page button you have right here on the steering wheel, you can go through all sorts of different settings, like different user settings, door. You can, and also like these buttons, you like you go through door lamp, convenience, service, all sorts of different modes. You can press OK, like the OK button there. for like different service intervals. And then also if you just press this button without pressing the pages button, but if you just press the up and down arrow button, you go through all the different modes. So you got trip B, trip A, service in, off, elapsed time, average speed, instant fuel economy, average fuel economy, and then distance to empty. And then down there you have your temperature and current mileage. And this car, when I'm filming this video, is currently at 132,371, 132,371 miles. And of course right now it's currently 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And then off over here you have your coolant temperature, your fuel. I have the parking brake on right now as well, so you have that there, and of course that is your gate. Then of course that is showing what. Of course, off over here you have your coolant temperature, fuel, showing that I have my parking brake on right now, as well as what gear you're in. And then over here you have all your lights and stuff. So of course those are your full-on headlights with fogs, because car does have fog lights like I mentioned before. You turn those off or on here. See the little light come on. And those are just regular headlights without the fogs, and then just completely off, or you can have that on auto. And of course pull it towards you, and that is for the high beams. Of course, blinkers. And then you also have all your wiper controls here as well. You pull it towards you. Use your windshield washer fluid. Of course, horn. I turn the windshield wipers off. And down here, of course, you can adjust the steering wheel as well. Move it up and down. I've heard the steering wheel can tilt as well. I haven't really figured out how to do that with my car though, because I know this wheel definitely tilts, but I don't really know if it telescopes. I've heard on the Optimas they do telescope. I haven't really been able to figure it out on my car though. I mean, I've heard it doesn't telescope very far, but I know at least with my car, at least I know I can tilt it using this lever right here, but I don't really know if I can telescope it. I've heard these wheels do telescope, from what I've heard online, but I haven't really figured out how to do that though. This wheel, of course, 3-spoke steering wheel right here, and it is leather, but it is pretty worn though. This car has over 132,000 miles on it. It's going over here to our radio here, infotainment center. So right here, you can insert CDs, eject them. And over here, of course, you press this to turn on the radio. And of course, you do have FM radio. And of course, this is your tune knob. Or no, this is your volume knob. So of course, this is to turn on the radio. Of course, your volume knob. And then over here is your tune knob. And of course, that's your preset button. Goes through all the different presets. Of course, this car also does have satellite radio as well as AM radio too. And of course, you can also toggle through all those modes here with this button. Goes through Sirius, FM, aux as well, because I do have an aux cord connected to this car, so I can listen to my own music or use Google Maps. FM, AM, Sirius, and then aux. Using this button here. This button does have a little bit of wear on it, as you can see right there. Of course, right here, this is your volume adjuster. You can adjust the volume. And there's different volumes as well for like the different modes that you select, like between like aux and then as well as you know, FM, for example. There's like different volume modes. Right here, of course, you can. Right here, you can also. So of course, you know, volume button right there, and of course you can go through all of the different presets or tracks using this button right here, as well as of course, you know, the tune knob, or the tune knob. I keep on getting them mixed up, but yeah, this is the tune knob. This is the seek and track button, and this is your volume. It's like your category button as well. Of course, preset button, scan, sound, so you can change the fader and the bass, or no, the fader and the balance, excuse me. But yeah, you can change the fader and the balance where you want it all centered. This car also does have 8 different speakers. There's 5 of them up here, 3 on the dashboard, each one on the doors. 6, 7, 8, and then there's one as well on the trunk deck too. So of course, there's your fader and balance. You can adjust it to all the different speakers. Of course, you can. That's the default button. Set the default, different tones as well. Touchscreen beep if you want that on, off, and speed dependent volume control. Your phone button right here, saying if you want to connect the phone, you can connect different phones. I can also add device as well. Only if yeah, and then, you know, if someone's phone's connected. I haven't connected my phone personally to this car yet. Mainly I've just used the aux cord. You can also delete different phones on here as well. And of course you can also, there's a mute button, so you can also mute as well. So I was just playing around with this more, and I connected my phone on here. And there's all sorts of different options, of course, that you have. You know, of course, you have, you know, you can dial a number, contacts, recent calls, favorites, connections, and then settings. Dial someone's number on here, and this car also does have call buttons on it as well. So yeah, and I accidentally just called someone while I was making this video because I was playing around with the buttons. But yeah, so I mean, this car has all sorts of different features on it. Again, no navigation on this car. I'm pretty sure we've had to get an SX trim because again, this is an EX trim, so about you know, mid-level, but still a lot of nice stuff on it. I mean, again, I get leather, I get heated and cooled front seats as well as a heated steering wheel, like I said before. Get these nice wood accents here and power folding mirrors as well as memory. And also when the car turns on too, the seat moves back when I turn the car off, and it also moves into the last position the seat was set at as well. And actually, speaking of the power seat, I'll show you more of it here right now. So of course, with this power seat here, of course you can move it forward, back, tilt the cushion up like that. You can also tilt the seat up like that. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this power seat. You can also tilt it back, have it go forward. And then there's also for the lumbar here as well. Of course, that is the build plate right there, manufactured July 8th, 2014, and this is a 2015 model. And of course, this car also does have voice commands as well.
Please say a command after the beep.
Cancel. Cancel. So yeah, it does have voice commands as well, by pressing that button right there. So down here, this car does have automatic climate, like that. Turn these knobs here. And it does have dual zone climate, so you can adjust each individual one by either turning this knob or pressing the dual button. Of course, inside, outside air. Of course, you can put on different modes. You know, pressing the mode button, and you got the little picture of the person there. Of course, higher, lower the fan speed, front defroster, rear defroster, have it completely off. Or you can have turn AC on as well. Of course, that is your hazard button right there. And these vents too, of course, you know, you have the little slats here. You can close it and open it and direct it where you want to direct it. But then also you have these little sliders down here to direct the vents as well. You also press the display button and it turns the display completely off. This car also does have a backup camera as well. So you put the car in reverse here. And it takes a second, but this car does have a backup camera. It takes a second to turn on, but it does have a backup camera. The lines do not move, but at least it's nice to have, because in 2015 it wasn't guaranteed you'd get a backup camera. There were some lower trim Optimas that didn't even come with a backup camera in 2015, because of course they redesigned this car in 2016, so it didn't even have, not all Optimas came with backup cameras in 2015. Because of course it wasn't a standard requirement. It wasn't a legal requirement here in the US until 2018. So, but it's certainly nice that this car does have a backup camera. Of course, you know, just a regular shifter. Press the button here, neutral, drive, and of course you also do have you know, different shifts as well, like manual shifting right here. You can see it there as well. You know, manual shifting, drive, neutral, reverse, park. Shift lock, release right there. Of course, over here you have 212 volts, an aux, as well as a USB down there. Of course, is your clock, hour, minute. Passenger seat belt, passenger airbag off. Like I said before, this car does have 8 speakers, 3 on top of the dashboard, 1 on each door, and then as well as 1 on the trunk deck. And this car also does have an upgraded sound system, Infinity, in the Infinity sound system as well, and it sounds really good. So we're going to turn on the radio here. So the car has a really good sound system, really good bass. Of course, you know, the upgraded Infinity speakers, like I said before. And this car also does have a panoramic sunroof as well. I'm going to show that here right now. So I'll turn that down. Here is for the panoramic sunroof. I press it like that. The sunroof opens and it pops up in the back, and then if I press it like that, sunroof opens. Opens in the front, and then you got the glass in the back as well. Then to close it, so that is a panoramic sunroof in this car. You know, this button, you have to like press it a certain way, because I believe if you push this back, it completely opens it. But then if you like push it like that, of course it doesn't work now, but if you push it like that, it kind of, it opens the shade and it just vents it. And then if you push it like that, like how I just did it, it closes the sunroof, and then if you push it again, then it closes the shade for the sunroof. So yeah, pretty cool sunroof. Again, this car has a lot of nice stuff on it, especially for the money. I believe that's probably a microphone up there for calling. Yeah, it's like a little microphone. It's like you're calling someone. Lights right here. Sunglass holder. Auto dimming mirror, like I talked about before. That's what this button is here. Of course, your heated and cooled front seats, cup holders. And they're both different sizes. Like they both have different sizes for different drinks or different cups or bottles. And down here, you also have the center console, pretty deep as well. You can see I got some stuff down here. Then you got this little tray right here as well. And to close it, just do that and it clicks. Over here, you do have a pocket right here. You know, little area to put like a drink or something. And that is for your trunk, and that is for your gas cap release for your trunk. That is for the hood, and that is also for the parking brake as well. So going over to the front passenger seat, of course, auto up down window, locks, infinity speaker, and of course this seat's also powered and heated and cooled. It doesn't have like the lumbar and stuff, doesn't have as much as the front seat, but it still has some power. You know, it still has some power functions, like you can move it forward and back, you can move the seat back or forward. And of course in here you have your glove box. And the good thing about this car, not only that this car came with 2 keys, but also this car came with the owner's manual as well. That's the Uvo system user's manual. There's also a little light in the glove box as well. And then this is like the owner's manual in here. So it's nice that it comes with all this stuff. Of course, air vent right here. Of course, as well as the sun visor. And a grab handle. And of course there's a grab handle on the other side too. Going into the back of the car. Of course, window back here. You know, lock, door handle. And you do have 2-stage heated seats back here as well. Of course, a speaker. Little area to have a drink. Do have air vents back here, which is also very nice. There's also plenty of space back here, and the floor is pretty flat as well. I mean, there's a little bit of a hump, but overall it's pretty flat. It's very comfortable back here. You do also have an armrest back here with some cup holders as well. Of course, some lights too. course you get your own panoramic roof back here. I mean, of course this one back here doesn't open up, but you still get it back here though, which is nice. Grab handle, another grab handle, coat hook. Of course this seat is also heated as well. And of course these seats are also leather. It's very comfortable back here. You know, tons of room, both front and back. The only thing though is that this car does have a lower roof line, so it's a little bit more of a challenge to get in and out of this car. You do have to kind of duck, and not only that, but also this roof line also does reduce on headroom as well. Take a look at the hood, what's under the hood here, real quick. This is what the engine looks like. It's a very clean engine bay. Of course, a little bit of surface rust. This car spent most of its life throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. This engine here is a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine, gasoline engine, and it has a 6-speed automatic transmission. Of course, going back here to the trunk. To open the trunk, of course you can open it from the front. You can also open it from the key fob, because there's a button on the key fob that says hold. You like hold it down to open the trunk. And there's also a little button right near the backup camera, because there's a backup camera, as well as the license plate lights to open it like that. And it has like a little arrow on it. Once you're back here, the very roomy trunk, and also you can store stuff underneath there. This car does not come with a spare tire. Even when it was new, it did not come with a spare tire. You do have a tire inflator kit, but it does not come with a spare tire though. And my parents are thinking about possibly getting me a spare tire for this car. Of course, the fold down rear seats pull there. And you can fold them down from here, make a nice pass through. And this car also does have some nice red lights, like red ambient lighting. Like there's some light under there. You can't see it now. But at night though, it lights up red under here, as well as in the door panels also lights up red. It's pretty cool. So driving the Kia Optima here, you know, it's a very nimble car. Like we have 2021 and 2022 Hyundai Elantras as well, and they're also pretty nimble. And the turning circle on this car is only 38 inches in width, and on our 2021 and 2023 Hyundai Elantras, it's 37 inches in width. And this is much longer car. I believe this car is about like 7 inches longer, and it's much heavier as well. So this car is very nimble. It has a very good turning circle, and it can do tight turns very well. And this car does get pretty loud, especially as you're going up hills or merging. Like when you step on it, it does get pretty loud. It has decent power. Of course, I have the eco mode on all the time to help with gas mileage. you know, sometimes I feel like I have to step on it a little bit more to get power. This particular car also does vibrate when I'm idling as well, especially around the exhaust pipes as well. This car vibrates. And sometimes I feel it in the steering wheel a little bit, and sometimes occasionally I feel it like on the seat or the headrest. So this car does vibrate a little bit, at least my particular car. I'm not sure about other Optimas, but at least my particular car does. But this car also is pretty stiff as well. Definitely, I drive over a lot of potholes, and eventually I'm going to need new tires on this car. So this car definitely is not the most comfortable riding. It does feel a little bit better than my 2021, 2020, and 2023 Hyundai Elantras, because the 2021 Hyundai Elantra is my mother's car, and that's the car I've been practicing to drive in. Of course, this 2015 Kia Optima is my car, and this car definitely, since it's heavier, the bumps don't feel as harsh compared to our Hyundai Elantras, but it's still, you definitely still feel it though. This car definitely isn't as comfortable as like Subaru Legacies or Toyota Camrys, but you know, it's still a pretty good car though. You know, it does have its flaws. Again, visibility out of this car is also not the best, because you do have some pretty wide pillars. Like, you do have a pretty wide pillar. You do have a pretty wide pillar right here, and also, see, not only do I have a wide front windshield pillars, but it's also, this pillar is also pretty wide as well, and also the rear deck is also pretty small. Luckily, again, this car has a backup camera as well, even though it is pretty small. But the trunk deck on this car is pretty high, and the pillars are pretty small, and there's also a sharp belt line in the back as well. Like back there is a pretty sharp belt line from the windows as well. So definitely visibility out of this car is definitely not the best. To the front with the windshield, I feel like the windshield also slopes pretty far back at me as well. And again, you could see back there, like right there, or right there. I'm like pointing in the wrong direction, but you can see like right behind me though, that window right behind me, you can see like that sloping window line there. So definitely visibility out of this car definitely isn't, I mean, this car is a good looking car. I like how this car looks, but definitely though, this car is certainly not the easiest car to see out of though. So, and I've heard some of these do some Optimas, depending on the package, do come with blind spot monitoring, like blind spot warning, where you have the light in the mirror and it lights up. This car does not have that. I kind of wish it did, but the only thing this car has is a backup camera. Of course, it has stability control, traction control, and anti-lock brakes because it's a 2015 model. But it is nice to have a backup camera, since it is a 2015. That wasn't required in the US until 2018. We're going to turn the headlights on here. We're going to put the hazards on as well. The car also does have a taillight out on the back of it as well, which we need to get replaced. Yeah, that's the vibrating of the mufflers, because this car does vibrate when it idles. Sometimes it vibrates when I'm driving it too. Like if I need extra power, sometimes it vibrates. Well, I don't feel it vibrating when I'm driving. I feel it vibrating when I'm stopped sometimes. But like, I kind of hear it vibrating, like I kind of hear a little bit of a rumble And it kind of takes like a second to get extra power. Then eventually I do. I mean, this car certainly isn't a rocket ship. It has enough power, you know, to get up hills in the pass and stuff. It certainly isn't lacking for power. But this car certainly isn't a rocket ship, though. But again, it is a good-looking car. The looks do definitely compromise visibility, as well as access, and room on the inside, and especially headroom. Again, access, because you do have to duck to get in and out of this car, and as well as visibility, because you do have to peer around some of the pillars, because this is the sloping roofline I was talking about. And it is also the high rear trunk deck. It's not as high as it is in our 2021 and 2023 Hyundai Elantras, but still though, it's still pretty high. Yeah, and this pillar is also pretty thick, and this windshield I feel like slopes back pretty far towards me as well. And this car also does have the original windshield on it, and this windshield, I've been like trying to clean the streaks off of it and stuff, so I've been kind of like subconscious of like the streaks and stuff. But this windshield though does not have like any rock chips or anything on it as far as I can tell, which is nice. And this is the original windshield. So you can see like that blue tint there at the top. And it also has Kia Solar Glass on there, so this car has all of its original windows on it, and none of them are cracked or chipped as far as I can tell. Of course, these are the mirrors, the turn signal repeaters. But again, you know, this is a good looking car. And, you know, even when this car was new, it's probably about 25 to 30 grand when it was bought, when it was new. You know, when these were new, these were about 25, 30 grand. You know, this particular car, this Kia Optima EX. I mean, I'd say the SXs probably got up to maybe about 30,000 at most, and the LXs were probably about 22, 23. But still though, this car is very well equipped for the money. It's stylish, and you know, it drives pretty well. Again, it is pretty loud, and certainly the ride isn't the most comfortable, and certainly isn't the fastest car out there either. But I mean, you know, you get leather seats, heated and cooled seats, panoramic sunroof, and even for the car I bought, or even for the price I bought this car at, at $8,518 US. I feel like it was still a good value for my money, and I definitely would, we definitely would buy this car again, because of course I did contribute a couple $1,000s into buying this car, but big thank you to my parents as well for buying me this car here. It's been a great car, and you know, I'll definitely have more adventures with this car here in the future. So I hope that all of you enjoyed this video of this 2015 Kia Optima EX, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye everyone.